Keeper Vicky, and welcome to The Young and the Flightless, a web series about the tales of our penguin colony here at the Akron Zoo. In case you didn't know, our penguin colony can be like a soap opera sometimes, especially during breeding season. Humboldt penguins usually mate for life, but drama is almost always around the corner. In 2012, we had Pedro hatch here. In 2015, we had Anadeo hatch, who went by Deo for a nickname. So that was Pedro's sibling, had the same parents. Pedro was a bachelor at the time, and Deo was, running around as a juvenile. And when they got a little bit older, they started hanging out on habitat all the time, and we just thought this was a great bromance between these brothers. They were keeping themselves out of trouble with the other birds that were breeding and nesting, so that's good for us then, that we don't have to worry about it and intervene for fights, etc. Well, then they started hanging out in a burrow together, and again we're like, whatever, it's a bromance, let them do what they're gonna do. Again, they're staying out of trouble. But then as I'm doing feeds, Deo's starting to act eggy, quote unquote, for lack of a better term. Usually when the females are preparing to lay eggs, they put on a little bit of weight, but then they stop eating really well because it's uncomfortable for a couple of days before they lay an egg. So I'm like, that's kind of weird from him, but we'll wait it out, see what happens. If a penguin goes off feed for a day or two, it's not a huge concern. And then I come in one morning, and surprise, Pedro and Deo have an egg. So clearly one of them is not a boy. You can't look at a penguin and tell who's a boy and who's a girl. So we do have to draw blood on them. Obviously, the blood draw and the resulting sex results were wrong for Deo because she laid an egg, so she is a girl. However, being siblings, obviously, you don't want that just, like in people. It's not great for the management of birds either. So nothing did come of the egg that they laid. So then, knowing that they were now a pair and you don't want them breeding, we got recommendations from the Humboldt SSP to be able to bring in new birds for them to pair with. Titi came in to go with Pedro, Franz came in to go with Deo. To be able to start the bond with these new pairs, we have indoor bedrooms just off the habitat space that we will put them in, and they will live there for a little bit to be able to start their bond. Everything was going well. Birds are eating together, they're laying next to each other, they're kind of following each other around in the hallway when we're cleaning their rooms. So those are all the signs you look for that they have a bond started. Once we thought they were good, we did stagger them going back out on habitat so they didn't go out at the same time. As you say, the heart wants what the heart wants, and as soon as they saw each other again, Pedro and Deo were right back together. That was unfortunate for us. However, it also would have allowed the opportunity that since they did have a strong bond, we could have used them for foster parents if we would have needed to give them an egg from a different pair. We never had to do that with them. We did end up getting a breeding recommendation to send Deo to a different institution. The good that came of that was that Franz and Titi, that were these stilted boyfriends and girlfriends that got dumped, actually did hook up together as a pair, and they've been together for several years. At least they didn't end up alone after all of that time.